Welcome to Demon Interviews episode 163. I'm your host, as always, very shockingly, Springy. And joining us today is a very special guest.
ZZ Cosplay.
Woo! Well, first of all, how are you doing this fine afternoon?
I am doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, Have you ever been interviewed like this before?
Yeah, quite a bit actually. My day job is as a paranormal researcher and upcoming author. Actually, my first book should be due out pretty soon now. So I've done a fair amount of podcasts and radio shows in my time, but never for cosplay. So this is really exciting to me because, as you may have guessed if you're watching this interview, I love cosplay. So I am thrilled to be here tonight.
Awesome. Well, we're having to introduce the side of the world of interviewing. Infographic I never put because I'm too lazy. I have zero time. So next question is going to be so you talked about like you are a cosplayer. That's in your username. That's what you just said. So do you have any other new cosplays planned to do that you're able to tell us a bit about without me giving you a small fee of $5?
Boy, I can't really focus on any one project, and that goes the same with cosplay too. So I usually have like 3 separate things that I'm working on or planning on doing. And so right now I'm currently working on a Simon Petrikov cosplay from Adventure Time, but I'm also working on Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. And 2, I do the sewing for my friend group actually, so I always have a few of their projects kind of working as well. So yeah, but those 2 right now are the ones I'm most excited about.
Ooh, awesome! I'm excited to see those whenever one of those come out. So next up is going to be would you rather eat Cheetos or go on a hike?
Oh boy. Could I go on a hike with the Cheetos? Is that like an option?
That's the secret third question. That's the secret third answer.
Ooh, okay. I broke the 4th wall there. So yes, hike with Cheetos. That would be my preferred thing there.
Awesome. Double checking a thing while I'm reading the next question. The next question is going to be what is the hardest thing about getting into one of your cosplays?
Boy, it really depends on the cosplay. I've got a few of them that are like super, lots of layers, very intricate, kind of difficult to wear. Probably the worst one there's a few worse ones for that. The worst one, like wearability wise, is probably Undertaker from Black Butler, which is also one of my favorite cosplays that I hardly ever do just because, it's a lot. There's like the long robe, there's tons of accessories, and that's all fine and dandy. But then you have this wig that is so long, and the bangs canonically go in front of the eyes. So and then 2, there's the top hat, which is another whole thing. It's actually a genuine style that was used by Victorian funeral mutes. It was a specific job back in the Victorian era. I'm a total dork about hats, so pardon my rambling here. But it's actually period accurate, which I was super excited to see. I just love that so much, and it has that long trailing sash. But no, the bangs are just the worst part on that wig. I swear, I took it to a con once, and I was walking around all day. Thankfully, I had people with me. And so I was like, if I am walking into something, let me know. Because, I'm not going to say that you couldn't see, but you couldn't see very well. So that one is kind of difficult by way of wearability. But then beyond that, I think probably Jerome Veleska from the TV series Gotham. That's another one, too, that I have only done once. And it's because of the extensive latex work that goes into the face, because I do his version I think from season 3. My memory on the seasons is a little foggy right now. I'm such a disappointment, but no, after his face is ripped off, sorry, spoilers, and then pieced back on. So the funny thing about that is I tested that one once and it went perfectly without a hitch, and then I did something which is just a total fatal flaw. No one should ever do this. When I went to a con, I was like, I think I have a better way of doing this. And it had to do with the mouth specifically. The way I made the latex, I couldn't open my mouth. I was like, this will be more stable. This will be more secure. This is a great idea. It was not a great idea. There I was in the bathroom at the convention center with a glue stick piecing my face back on halfway through the convention. Not my proudest moment. But, it still looked cool. I just had to be really careful about talking too much, which, my acquaintances were probably happy about, but I don't know. But for me, the most difficult part with the wearing of any cosplay is actually getting out of it. I always get super melancholy. Even if I'm at a convention, if I'm changing midway through the day into a different character, there's always that moment where I'm actually like, goodbye, this character. I'll see you again soon. It's fine. But yeah, so that's the most difficult thing for me. I'm sure that probably sounds a little pathetic, but yeah, it's the truth.
Nah, it's fine. That makes sense. It makes sense to me. Next up is going here. I'm just gonna make sure I'm reading it correctly and not saying it wrong, which I probably still will. So on the social medias, like you said, you go by ZZ Cosplay. Why did you choose that name over Gotham Fan 69 or something like that? You know what I mean?
It's one of those things I love. Okay, names. I'm a total dork about names. I love them. And so when it comes time to naming anything, I take forever. And believe you me, like anything with the Riddler or Stein, two of my all-time favorites, that was like kind of tossing up there, thinking about, oh, I could do this, I could do that, whatever. But eventually it just came down to the fact my real name is Zelia, and it's a very uncommon name. And my sisters, I've got two younger sisters, one of their nicknames for me was ZZ. So I was like, you know what? Just keep it simple, ZZ Cosplay. So that's the story there.
Awesome. Well, now I have to say the stereotypical YouTube thing of don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon. If you have any questions for our lovely guest here, put them in the comment section below. And whenever we get them back onto the show, we'll ask them your appropriate questions. I'm looking at you, David. Freaked that one guy out. Looking right at you. No. And don't forget to follow our lovely guests on all the social media platforms. There'll be a way to get to all of them in the description below. Shameless promotion after that. But next question is going to be coming from a past guest, a Shannon Carruthers. You're going to be the star of a movie. Who would you want your co-star to be? It could be an actor, actress, or it could just be a friend. And what genre of movie would it be?
Okay, so it would definitely be a horror movie. I am a horror fanatic. I just, I love them. Not a huge fan of like the kind of cliche like slasher stuff. Those are kind of more funny to me, if that makes sense. But I love stuff with like a big creep factor, or especially like really kind of dark, almost gothic vibes. And I would have to choose my sister Chloe as my co-star because she is so deadpan with absolutely everything. I just think it would be hilarious. So
awesome. Well, have you ever gone to any conventions? Oh, you already said that. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. So carrying on from that, how many cons have you gone to before?
Oh, geez. This is one of those things.
How many different ones?
Oh, okay. I was like, this is one of those things I probably should have prepared for beforehand. Gone to, let's see. Off the top of my head, I think I've done 6 different cons, and multiple times for most of those. Mm-hmm. So, and it's been mainly anime cons. The region where I'm from, for some reason, it just seems like it's mainly anime. I am not complaining. It's fantastic. Have to admit, whenever I find a general pop culture, like comic book con, I'm like, oh, I am very excited about that because I just don't have much of a chance to take, Gotham cosplays, Batman cosplays, general pop culture cosplays. So, but yeah, it's been mainly anime from that selection there.
Makes sense. Makes sense. You would want to wear a cosplay that would like fit with the event, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I know there's no hard and fast rules, but still I'm like, yeah. I'm a sucker for, I don't know, making things fit a certain theme, so.
Yeah. Hey, it makes complete sense to me, 100%. I mean, I've only gone to 2 and never in cosplay, so you're talking to the I have no experience in that, so. So the next question is coming from a past guest once again, a Dark Mina the Gone. I keep on wanting to say like into like the dark or something like that, but that's not their name. So we'll talk about horror movies a little bit. So who would you be in a horror movie? This is kind of more like the slasher-esque style, like final survivor, killer, first to die, so on and so forth type of dynamic. So who would you feel like you would be in one of those types of movies?
Oh, my cliche is definitely like the kind of jumpy, nervous, nerdy friend who has a 50-50 chance of being eaten by the creature or somehow like escaping unscathed. So that's my that's my archetype there.
Awesome. Awesome. Next up, now we'll go back to the con-based questions. It was there and it was perfect. You said you like horror movies, it's right there. So the next question is going to be, is there any cons that you're hoping to attend to in the near safe future?
I'm really, really excited / hoping that Anime Milwaukee is still going on because that was the last con I went to before everything was shut down. And I almost didn't go. It was one of those things where it was like kind of lucky that it worked out. It was my first time going. The convention center is just fantastic. It's a huge con. The attached hotel is really neat too. It's kind of got like an Art Deco type vibe where we stayed. It's like a historic place in Milwaukee. So I am like fingers crossed that things are safe enough for that one to go on because as of yet they haven't canceled. So I'm just like knock on wood.
Yeah, exactly. Like 100%. I'm right there with you. The last con-based question, not the last question, is centered around cons. Sorry, I just thought of a brand new one off the top of my head. It's not a con-based question. I just found a new question off the top of my head, but I'll save that. I'm just gonna pin it right there. Favorite convention memory is the next question.
Oh, geez. That is like so difficult. Okay. This is kind of one of those moments where I'm like, it's a favorite, but it's also like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. So I was cosplaying Deku's hero outfit. And this was at Anime Milwaukee and came upon a group of Spider-Man cosplayers. And one of them asked me to please, if we could get a video of me doing a Detroit smash. Now, I was an idiot and wasn't even thinking about a fake punch as like just a miss. So I straight up like connected with this poor guy's shoulder. Thankfully, I'm not very strong, but I still felt so terrible. But it's one of those things that's kind of like, oh my gosh, it was so funny. Like, so kind of like favorite, but also like, can't believe I did that. Hope he's not
listening. Look at me.
I don't know. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, before the pin falls out, the question I just thought of is, because of everything that's been going on, are you going to adjust any of your cosplays to fit like safety regulations, like with like wearing a mask and stuff like that? Is there going to be like a special mask or something that you go wear with one of your cosplays or something like that, or like a mask that like fits with them, or you know what I mean, like something that, yeah.
Yeah. That is a great question, and definitely. I mean, I think that for me, it's like I tend to kind of do a lot of stuff last minute. So of course, in a perfect world, I'm like, oh, I will have, a different mask for each outfit. And I think eventually, if I can ever have enough time to actually plan that, that's definitely something that I'll think of doing. Aside from that, anything just kind of that matches the color scheme with the outfit, or, if you can get something that kind of matches the vibe a little bit, like, I mean, Stein is one of my all-time favorite cosplays from Soul Eater, of course, I suppose I should specify. And so seeing him in a doctor's mask, that works, Yeah. So once you get, like, I'm trying to think of someone where that wouldn't work so well. I'm sure there is one that I'm just blanking out on. But, like, to kind of fit it more to the vibe, like, especially something I've really wanted to actually is Demon Slayer. I cosplay Zenitsu. And they actually had the characters, like I guess medical personnel of the Demon Slayer Corps that had their kind of era specific masks. So something like that would be super cool. Of course, again, Undertaker is one of my favorites. Want to take that to a con eventually. I think he would look so cool with one of the old like Plague Doctor masks, even though then I would be mixing time periods, which I usually try to avoid, but it would look cool. So yeah, that's definitely something that I think is probably going to be on a lot of cosplayers' minds coming up.
Yeah. I know, like, I'm newer to the like fully, think about going to a con in a cosplay, and I've been playing new ones, and I've actually been planning masks alongside it. Like, I'm planning on doing Roman Torchwick from Ruby as well.
Oh yeah, one of my faves.
And I'm planning on doing like a jack-o'-lantern mask, because that's his, they like the lower half of like the jack-o'-lantern mask, like.
Yeah, that would be
just
perfect.
Because, like, exactly.
Yeah. And you can make it fun too. Like that's the exciting thing about it, is that instead of looking at it as something that detracts, it can actually add to the look,
Exactly. 100%.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the Spider-Man cosplayers who are either going to have two masks on and the medical one pushed real hard against their face, or one that does not stay on at all.
The one that I'm worried about is Gojo, because I am planning on doing the blindfold look. And I'm just thinking, there's this fan art that I've seen a million times of him also wearing a face mask, and I'm like, yep, that's gonna be me. Oh well.
It's fine. So next up is going to be I almost said the same one twice. Would you keep a pet zombie or would you kill it?
Yeah, there's a 50-50 chance there. It depends on how friendly it is or how, docile it is. If I could keep it and limit the risk of cross infection or anything, yeah, I'd keep it. It'd be cool,
Awesome. Well, the next two questions technically are coming from Mr. Zoom _2028. He is also a past guest of ours. The question is very long, very complicated.
Okay.
Bacon ?
Yes, very much so.
Awesome. Well, next one, it's an even longer and more complicated question.
Oh boy.
Peanut butter ?
Yeah, peanut butter's good.
Awesome. Well, this is one that we kind of just mixed together from those. Bacon and peanut butter ?
Like together?
Yep.
I've never tried it, but it could probably work. So
yeah,
hesitant okay on that one.
Yeah. Cool. Next up is going to be, who is your biggest cosplay inspiration or inspirations if you have multiple?
Oh my gosh. I don't really know, actually. My way of getting into cosplay was super random because I've always had a thing for costumes. So, seriously, as a kid even, Halloween was that was my Christmas and birthday mixed together, because you get to dress up. And so I kind of just meandered into cosplay because I suddenly realized, hey, people do this. So surprisingly enough, I'm actually not that super good with the big names in the field. I can see them in my mind's eye, but I can't really pin a name to them. But pretty much anyone who, just anyone who really is okay with enjoying it, because, and not to get on a kind of downer kick here, a lot of people really come after cosplayers. I've even experienced that. And at the end of the day, it just bums me out because I'm if people are enjoying things and they're not hurting anyone, just let them be. So anyone who's in this and enjoying themselves and, especially to people who have such a high degree of meticulousness with their crafting, is just, I really respect that. So yeah, pretty much any cosplayer who is in it just to have fun and a good time, that's my inspiration, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me 100%. Yeah, we do something called character interviews, and I always edit in a beginning part being do not attack these people if these answers are not correct, because I ask them questions and they're pretending to be the character.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah.
The one that just came out. Shameless promotion for the one that just came out. As of this recording, just came out almost 2 months ago as it's coming out. For Roman and Neo, I did fake magic to make Neo talk. I'm sorry. Just deal with it, internet. I haven't gotten that comment yet. But again, it came out 2 hours ago. So
there's time.
There's still time.
Yeah.
And I just asked them questions in character, and I always put a thing in the beginning if they might not be canon answers, I'm sorry. And neither one of them read the new book yet, so some answers might not be.
Yeah.
And I think I wrote that in the description as well. Again, some of these answers are gonna be different because this was before they recorded it, before they read it. So it's right after it came out too. So yeah, I completely understand that. That's not fun.
That's a good disclaimer too. I mean, yeah. I just feel too okay, I hope everyone's legit with me saying I'm a total nerd, and I know I get really just into the canon and whatever. But at the end of the day, again, just, people be people, let them enjoy themselves. So that's how I feel about it.
Oh, 100%. I 100% agree with that. Not gonna lie, I 100% agree. So to kind of bring the mood back up from the people on the internet or sometimes evil, it's coming from a past guest, a Harley F. Quinn. What are those?
What are those? What in particular?
Just 3 words. That's it.
Okay.
Trying to think of okay. So does the content you create that you post to the interwebs, is it the ones that you like doing the most that get the most attention, or is it the ones that surprise you?
It's mainly the ones that surprise me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there are a few. Okay, well, here's what's really surprising: is I will meticulously go through photos and be like, okay, this one is great. I really like this one. Post it. It does how it does. I will post the most random, ridiculous, low quality photos, and I am not kidding. Those are like my top 5. Like, yeah, and sometimes it's even ones where I'm like, wow, here's a really derpy photo. Like 100 some likes. I'm like, okay, the people have spoken, I guess. So, yeah, and then character-wise too, there's so many variables with like which characters do well. I think that a lot of the times it's the ones that are usually from like older things or maybe more rare cosplays that seem to do the best. Like the Soul Eater fandom is like still alive and kicking. Like seriously, most of my Stein posts do really, really well. So, I think that I don't know. It's the gods of the internet, man. But yeah, I will say like the most random photos, like anything like remotely like funny description, bad quality photo, I'm like, okay, whatever. This did super well. The one that's like crystal clear, perfectly cinematographically crafted or whatever, like half that, I'm just like, whatever, internet.
Yeah, that's 100% completely understandable. That's happened to me as well. Just like do the pun and then that does amazing. Take 30 minutes to do a thing and it's like, 2. If you're lucky. But the next thing is going to be who from Instagram, Twitter, so on and so forth, any of your social media platforms who are also cosplayers, would you like to do an IRL collaboration with, doing like videos or pictures or anything along those lines?
Oh boy. Gosh. That's another difficult question. Probably just any like character that any like character that fits with a character that I have that no one I know already does. Pretty much. So like, because I've got my younger sister and then a mutual friend. We're kind of like our little cosplay group. And 3 is a decent number, especially if you're going to a con, as like a group from the same thing. But man, the more the merrier. So pretty much any missing piece, I'm like, come here, please.
Join us. That's the thing.
That sounded way creepier than I intended. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. For the people who are too lazy to go look in the description, is Instagram, which is one of them, is that the only place you mainly post about your cosplays, or are there other places as well?
Boy, well, if this is in 2 months' time and I'm speaking from the past, things might be different. Right now, at the time of this recording, Instagram is like the only place. I had just started a TikTok, which I think possibly you can find from my Instagram. I'm not sure. Haven't really posted. Okay, so I've posted like one cosplay thing on there as of yet. Looking to start posting more. I've considered doing like a YouTube. Like I said, I sew all of the cosplays pretty much that I do, unless they're like, just kind of like plain clothes. Like Elle, obviously, I did not take the time to sew a pair of jeans and a white shirt. But pretty much everything else.
Sue me.
Yeah, there we go. It's the truth. Pretty much everything else, I've handcrafted. So I've considered actually starting a YouTube with like, DIYs or even just videos of the process. But TikTok for sure, by the time this is uploaded, should have something on there. But yeah, Instagram is like the main brain of the operation.
Awesome. Well, The next question is going to be, have you ever created any cosplays from like a fan suggestion type of thing? Like not them picking from like a list of 4, but like if they were like, you would look amazing as Batman. I don't know. You know what?
Me as Batman is hilarious. I'm not a fan. I've taken friend considerations into consideration, if that makes sense. I'd be open to it. Like if someone would look at me and be like, hey, you should do this, I would consider it. Unless, of course, it's Batman or Thor, which one of my friends had a dream that I was Thor, which is hilarious for many reasons.
Oh, yeah. Understand. So next up is going to be, what do you think is the biggest misconception about you and or your cosplays?
Dang. I mean, okay. I'm sorry. Maybe you can fast forward my little thinking phase.
Oh, you think we edit? You think I know how to edit?
I'll do it in fast motion. There we go. I think probably it really depends on which one. I think that just as a person, hey, I'm a Pisces man, so I do tend to have a very strong one fish is super cynical. One fish is very naive. You can kind of see that reflected in my cosplays. Even take my hero as an example. My two of my main favorites are Midoriya and then Shigaraki. And so I think that that's probably, when someone's looking at one, they'll absolutely not see me as the other side of that. So that's probably the biggest misconception, is just assuming that I have any sort of cohesion in what I like.
Yeah. I completely understand that, because I have Spider-Mans, and then I also made an evil version of Jean from Ruby.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Not perfect, because I'm not good at making things, but it's there. Excuse me. But the next question is going to be, what is the biggest compliment, the best compliment you've ever gotten, either online or in person?
The best one is any time that someone says that I look super canon. That to me is really a high compliment, because again, when you're a DIY cosplayer, you are trying to get those details. And let me tell you, not every design is maker friendly. There have been so many times where I'm just looking at something like, this is physically impossible. I don't know. This is not clothing. This is some other weird thing. I don't know how to make that. So anytime that someone actually says, hey, you look exactly like the character, that to me is that makes my day. Absolutely.
Yeah. That 100% makes sense, because there's also some outfits where it's how do you not impale yourself with the sharp piece of armor going into your neck?
And oh my word, this is a public service announcement. Whenever you can, try and wear the outfit once before a con, because I swear I have been in that spot so many times. And again, I'm the one who put myself there, where it's first time wearing it, you're walking around, and then suddenly you realize, oh, this is painful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and also prepare for, shoes are the worst. Prepare for blisters. It will happen at some point, and you will wish that you had those fancy Band-Aids specifically for blisters. I promise you that. So that's what I have to say.
Yeah. Makes sense. Next up is actually going to be the last question on my list, and then shockingly, there's more. Shocking, I know. But who is your favorite character to cosplay as? I know you talked about a few, but is there one that's your number one favorite? Or if you want to do it, you can do your top 5 in no particular order or something like that.
Oh my gosh. It changes so often. But I think probably, Stein is that is kind of my soul cosplay, if that makes sense. I just absolutely love Stein. He's one of my favorite characters. I love the outfit. One of my oldest cosplays too. I've done that so many times. So that's definitely one of them. And then right now, and again, this changes like the weather. So probably Eraserhead from My Hero Academia, Shigaraki also from My Hero. Undertaker, even though I never do that one, it's one of those that I'm always like, oh, I need to get more pictures of that, because that outfit, even though it's so difficult to wear, is like, I'm very proud of that. And again, the period accuracy of that design is just something that's really, really amazing to me. And then number 5 right now is probably Torchwick. He's just, I love his character. I haven't read the book yet, but I am like excited to, because man, we did not get enough content, you know. Oh,
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he's
right
so
there.
fun. He is just so fun. So.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. Like I've only like started it, and let me tell you everything that happens. My favorite thing, it's not a spoiler for the book. It's just like the names of the chapters. For the first 3, it's Roman's last lines. It's like it's like one word, and like for each chapter, I'm like, I love this so much.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Yeah, I can't wait. When I saw that, I was so pumped. I was like, this is fantastic. Like, oh my gosh. I'm still holding out hope that he's alive. I'm one of those people living in denial.
But... I was living in denial. I'm because like I'm newer to the fandom. I have been here for like I've been here for a year. It sounds like it's like not PTA meeting, like an AA meeting type of thing. Like I've been here for a year, and like I still have hopes for Pyrrha to come back as well. You know, like I'm new, so like it just happened for me. You know.
Yeah.
But same boat, same episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was like lie, and the next one steal and cheat and survive. I'm like,
I love that. So it's so iconic. Like
it is.
But I mean, let's be real. Everything he said was iconic. So I mean, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Well, now I'm done with the questions on my phone, so I can put that down and actually look like I'm paying attention, instead of looking like I'm looking off to the side and in actuality paying attention. But now we are on to the last 4 questions. Do you have any questions for me as an individual or about the show in general?
Boy, I guess like it's super cool. Again, like I have never done like a cosplay interview, so this is like the mashup of like 2 worlds for me. So I guess, you know, what kicked off, like why did you start this in particular?
Well, let me tell you.
I'm sure you've been asked that a lot, so this is probably a rerun.
It's fine. It's not like we've been asked this for the past 5 episodes. It's fine. But it's fine. So I would start a YouTube channel, and I saw that somebody else did one for like they're trying to just get like voice actors or like the cosplayers that you see on television, like not just like as a reel of this con, but you know what I mean. Like that was on like Cos Makers or something like that. You know, the sci-fi show that was like Face Off, but it was with cosplayers.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I saw like one episode of that, and not at home. I was playing in the lobby. I was like, wow.
Yeah. I think this only was like 1 season, maybe 2, if that. To be honest.
That's a anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole thing. So I was like, hey, I want to make a thing for cosplayers. Well, at first, because like my side, like at the time, I was more of a original character, like darker original character person. So I was like, oh, I'll just bring people from this side of TikTok, you know, because there's sides. You'll learn that real quickly. Where I was like, oh, I'll just bring these people over here, and then like it just kind of expanded into, you know, cosplayers, and now also like artists and stuff like that. So I just the main goal mainly is to like get everybody to like get the people we get onto the show to have more exposure into the world, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good reason.
Yeah. And that's technically also where the name Demon Interviews came from, because, you know, we're interviewing people who have demon original characters. So, you know, that's where that came from. But now it's an acronym. if I get asked, it's an acronym.
Okay.
But is there any other questions?
Let's see. You said that you've been to 2 cons.
Yep.
Okay. Immediate plans for the future. I know the future is uncertain with the con world, but
yeah. Oh, is it basically, do I have any plans on?
Yeah.
I was gonna go to KatsuCon in 2022, things happened, and I'm not going to be attending that one. So maybe in 2023, I'll go to KatsuCon, but like college, work, very small window of time to do anything in. If they have one for Christmas, Christmas Day, I'll be free. But yeah, as of right now, that's like the only like maybe plan I have personally. But that's also like the only con I can think of off the top of my head. So because like that's on the opposite end of America for me. So
wow.
Probably I'll have more actual, more likely ideas for closer to me. But so yeah. Is there anything else? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's all right. No, I've never like had to travel super far for cons. Where I am, the Midwest, there's not like a million conventions, but there are quite a few really decent ones. So I've been lucky enough that like, I mean, again, it's the Midwest, everything's pretty central. So
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah. Trying to think. Any cosplay plans?
Ooh, I do. I just got my No Way Home Spider-Man, the black and gold one.
Oh my gosh.
It's one from Amazon, so so take it with a grain of salt. But and I just got that yesterday, so I'm planning on I'm going to be wearing it when I go see it in the theaters.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. Excited for that. But I'm still planning on doing Roman. I have the wig. I've had the wig for a year, but I just haven't gotten the rest of the goes. I've had the wig for a year, but like I was waiting for Jean to be finished. Like Jean, I had his mainly commissioned, and then I was gonna do the evil parts, which I just like swapped out some parts and just made some new ones. It's fine. So I want to finish that before I continue like the new character. But I'm also planning on, if I can get the funding and my shit together, I'm planning on doing an alternate universe Roman where instead of, I call him Roman Frostwick.
Oh, that's neat.
Where he's like Christmas themed and he's like an elf and all that. He's an angry elf. Awesome. He's an angry elf.
Oh my! See, that is one of those things where I'm like, if I wasn't so preoccupied with getting like, outfits together in the days leading up to conventions, I would love to do like alternate universe stuff, even like, casual outfits. It's one of those pipe dreams I have, like, oh yeah, when I get, Dazai from Bungo Stray Dogs, I could do like a casual version, like a punk version. And I'm like, yeah, you'll be catching up on the like regular outfit 2 days leading up to the event. I'm like, yeah, future me, you're right.
Yeah, like that makes it. It's and I'm also planning on doing a Grim Roman as well, but I think that's the only one that has concreted and I have ideas for right now. I think those are the only ones I have concrete ideas for and can actually be made somewhat soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man, well that's neat though.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
Boy. I guess I'm good for now. I'm sure I'll think of one as soon as we wrap filming.
Oh, that's fine. You can always ask me questions. I'm happy with that. But next up, we're going to go on to the final 3 questions. I promise I won't say that every single time. But the next question is, would you ever like to come back onto the show, either for an interview like this or for a different project?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Awesome. You're already scheduled for 18 more things today. So
okay.
Next is going to be who would you like to see on the show in the future?
Oh boy. I don't know. It's a mystery.
Who knows?
Yeah.
The one who's next.
Yes, there we go. Next week's guest sounds fantastic.
I don't think I even know who that is yet.
Oh, it's for everyone then.
As of this recording, I don't know who that is. Off the top of my head, I could be wrong. Because I'm usually wrong. But lastly, do you have any questions for a future guest?
Let me think. Let me trying to think what I ask people usually at cons. I'm like running through my like list of like, oh, that's cool. What about this? Let me think for just a moment, and then I'll come up with something. Okay. How do you feel about like alternate universe versions of characters? Because I see that a lot, and like, you know, again, I think it's pretty neat. So I don't know, I guess that's a question.
Awesome. I just rattled off 3 for myself, so I'm happy with them too. But yeah, with that, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to do all the stereotypical YouTube things. Don't forget to follow lovely guests on all the social media platforms. There'll be a way to get to a good chunk of them in the description below. And at least I don't put it down here. Nobody can see you up here. At least I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.